Hello folks, welcome back. In previous lecture we have seen Git stages, right? In this lecture we are going to dig a little bit more inside to Git stages. For that one we are going to use this demonstration. So far we have created two files and both the files are added to staging area by using git add command. Then we have pushed those changes to the our local repository. So now file 1 and file 2 is already at our local repository. Now we are going to create two more files, that is file 3 and file 4. But out of this, only file 3 I am going to add to our staging area. Okay, so which means that we have file 1 and file 2 in the local repository, file 3 in the staging area, and file 4 I am not going to add even for staging area, so it will be in the working directory. Okay, then we'll do some modifications on the file 2, file 3 and file 4, and we'll see the git status command which is recognized by the git status and on which location, nothing but whether it is identified in the working directory or staging area and local repository. Let's see how does it goes. This is my repository which I have initiated, that is demo repo. I'm going to take git bash over here and let me increase font size. Let me pull it down and increase little more. And if I see git, sorry, pwd, yes, our current location, and the ls, we have file 1 and file 2. For better naming convention, instead of using file2.txt, I'm going to use as a file 2, but later time we will modify because each modification will be tracked under git. Now, as we discussed in our demonstration, we are going to create two more files, that is touch file 3 and file 4. Okay, these two files we are creating. Now if I check, we have four files, and git status, if I check now, you can see two files are there, that is file 3 and file 4. Why it is not showing file 2, sorry, file 1 and file 2? Why? Because these two files are already staged and updated in our local repository. After updating in our local repository, there is no modifications on these files. That is the reason it won't show under untracked, because I have already tracked and reported in my GitHub repository. All right, so now to add these files to our staging area, we should execute git add file name. As I shown you, we are going to add only file 3 to our staging area, and file 4 I don't add to our staging area. Let it be in the working directory. Working directory nothing but it will be in red color under untracked files. Now let's add git add file 3, and if I do git status, now you can see under changes to be committed, nothing but this is staging area. In staging area, we have a new file called file 3. I have added file 3 to our staging area. File 4 is still untracked, nothing but I haven't added this one from our working directory to staging area. Okay. Anyway, these two files are empty files, nothing but we haven't added any content to these files. Let me open file 3 and cat file 4. Okay, both are empty, and equivalent changes you can see over here also. That is the reason I keep it open. Now I'm going to add some content to file 3 and file 4. So vi file 3, I'm going to just name it as a this is file 3 and save this file. Similar way, file 4, this is, sorry, this is file 4, and save this. That's it. We have updated both the files, but out of these two files, file 3 is only in the staging area. And one more thing, I'm going to update file 2 as well. So file 2 also empty. I think this is, sorry, not file 2, right? It is file2.txt. Otherwise it is going to create a new file with the file 2. So file2.txt I'm modifying. So this is file 2, and this is a text, sorry, text file. Okay, that's it. So we have modified three files. File 1 we haven't modified, file 2 we have modified, but file 2 is already in the our local repository. File 3 also modified, but file 3 is only available in our staging area. Let me show you in the image. So this is what we have done. So far we have file 1 and file 2 are there, both are available in the local repository. and file3 is only in the staging area. It is not yet added to local repository. To add to local repository, we should use git commit, right? But on file3 we haven't used it. And file4 is in working directory only, nothing but it is not yet in the staging area. Now let's go back and check for git status. Now you can see here there are changes to be committed, nothing but this is staging area. So in staging area, file3 is there. At the same time, file3 is also available in the working directory. See here in the working directory, it has been modified. Nothing but you have added file3 in the staging area. After that, again you have done some changes to your file3. Similar way, file2. File2 we have added to our repository. It is not there in the staging area anymore. Okay, it is in our repository. After adding file2 into repository, again we have modified. That is the reason it is showing in the working directory only. Nothing but these three commits we have to do in our staging area. Now how can I add these changes to our staging area all together? For that we can use git add dot. Okay, git add dot is a command where we can add all our files to staging area at a go. So let's execute, and if I check git status now, you can see all changes has been tracked now, but it is treating that new file, file3 is new file, and file4 also new file, file2 we have modified it. Okay, so this is how we can push our changes to the staging area. Now I would like to commit these changes to our local repository. For that, again git commit -m, adding file3 and file4 as well. Okay, and close this and enter. That's it. We have pushed our changes to repository, and three files has been changed or updated, and four instructions, nothing but 4 lines. One deletion, nothing but in file2 we have given enter, so it treated it as a deleted and updated one more line. That is how it treat. Okay, so this is how we can commit our changes to our local repository. Now if I check for commits, git log, right? Git log is a command to list out all the commits which we have done in our local repository, and this time it should be two commits. So this is the first commit and this is second commit. All right, so this is how we can commit our changes to local repository. That's all for this video. See you in the next video.